Saving about maybe $2,000. I'll be passing this down to my son.
Welcome back to Official Black Wall Street, the largest app and digital platform connecting you to the best in Black-owned products and services. Head to obws.com to download our app and discover thousands of Black-owned businesses you can shop and review today.
I want to welcome everybody to Is It Just Me? Insight with T. And I want everybody to go ahead and like, share, and subscribe, especially subscribe to the channel. Now, today we're going to talk about lineage. We're going to talk about FBA, or is it black? What is lineage? It says lineal descent from an ancestor, ancestry, or pedigree. So this is a term that Tariq Nasheed coined, I believe, a few years ago. The author of several books, Art of Mackin and the like. And then he has done Hidden History, Hidden Colors, and so many others movies. But today we're going to talk about blacks. Can our lineage, our FBA or black, whatever you want to designate it as, can we compete with other lineages? So should I say us versus everybody? Well, in today's storyline, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what's going on in Atlanta, Fulton County to be exact. And we're going to talk about North Carolina to start us off. We're going to do Atlanta on another episode, but we're going to do what's going on with this one couple, black couple, married couple, Felicia and Winchell Olivet. Now, they opened up something that I've been talking to my mom and my aunts and friends and families for years. I'm like, everywhere I go, I don't ever see a black town, a black city, even an African town. But you see Greek this, Mexican that, Italian, every type of Asian community, nail shops, foods, everything. But what about us? Now, we know in LA and surrounding, we have Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. Delicious. If you haven't been there, please go and get you some chicken and waffles. Even Obama went there. They named a meal after him. But anyway, let's get into this story. Again, I want you to go ahead, like, share, subscribe, and tell me, what do you think about our lineage? FBA, Foundation of Black America, is new, or Black Americans. Okay, we're talking about people who've been here. Aboriginals, indigenous. And some of us were brought here. Can our lineage compete with others? And I'm going to point out the Hispanics. Let's get into this, y'all.
Has an update on how the neighborhood is coming along and is giving us an inside look.
The developer says people have already moved into 20 of the 29 homes in South Park Cottages, and the ball is already rolling on the next location, Union City. Crews are putting the finishing touches on the final 9 tiny homes. 16 months after construction began, all 29 have been sold.
The money they spend is directly impacting this community. College Park will now get, and Fulton County will now get tax revenue from this community that didn't exist before.
Plus, developer Booker Washington says micro-communities are also keeping more money in the residents' pockets.
I'm saving about maybe $2,000. I'll be passing this down to my son.
Equity. With rent continuously on the rise across metro Atlanta, Janice Williams chose to buy for the same size space.
I was considering getting an apartment because I'm downsizing from a 5-bedroom house on the south side, and it was just too much. My son moved out. He has a new baby, a new family he's building, and my mother is elderly. She couldn't go up and down the 16 flights of steps to her bedroom. It just makes more sense.
Williams has been in the neighborhood for 3 weeks. Washington says there are several other residents like her, singles, single parents, couples, and retirees.
The residents of South Park are diverse. They range from 40,000 upwards to millionaires that live here.
The average rent in metro Atlanta is about $2,000 a month. Washington says the average mortgage here is $1,500, and he has his eyes set on the next project, Union Park.
Expanding in all urban metro area markets is important because every metro area market is affected by high real estate prices and squeezing out those in the lower incomes. So we are eyeing and targeting the center of Atlanta. We have a long waiting list, an interest list of well over 3,000 of people that desire a micro home project.
In College Park.
Now, when you look at this picture, what do you see? I'm going to tell you what I see. I see a black man in construction talking about building a micro community. This is something that's become necessary in today's times because before the pandemic, we had affordable housing. The housing used to be affordable. Now with the advent of houses are costing what? Between $400,000, $500,000, $600,000. And I'm going to tell you something. Me and my wife, we bought our first house, about 3,000 square foot, 3-car garage. We paid $215,000 for that earlier in the 2000s. And we had to wait for them to build our house to move in. But now, after this 2019, 2020, this pandemic, COVID, houses are now costing anywhere from $400,000 and up. And then the square footages that you're seeing are minimum. You're only getting 1,600. Now, I just said me and my wife, we had a 3,000 square foot house, just me, my wife, and my son. Now, $1,600 a month for rent, $2,000 a month for rent for no square footages. But I see black working. I see this, and this is Atlanta. So we need these micro communities. And if you heard, the gentleman did say, you have anywhere from people making $40,000 to millionaires moving in because everybody is pinching pennies nowadays. And this is what we see all over. When I drove from Las Vegas to Illinois, Chicago to be exact, to pick up my aunt, I saw this everywhere from Las Vegas to Utah to Arizona to Colorado, and in between I saw Hispanics working. I didn't see blacks working. So I said to myself, is that the new norm? It seemed like since the 2000s, Hispanics have kicked the door in and have taken over everything, or have they been given everything? I call this a privileged minority. It's just my opinion. I feel that they have been given the red carpet treatment when it comes to construction jobs and all other jobs. They have gotten so bad that they're demanding $20 or $30 for salaries, where they'll pay anybody else that's American. Think about it. You can Google this. You got AI now. AI will tell you, artificial intelligence. They want to pay the average black or anybody else $10 to $12 to $13. They're giving these people carte blanche. Now let's look at this, because I looked this up. Here we go. It says, as of February 2024, there were about 49,000 Mexican restaurants in the United States. This is about 1 in 10 restaurants in the country. And it says the explanation: Mexican food is the third most popular cuisine in the United States. The number of Mexican restaurants in the United States has been growing. The West and the South have the highest percentage of Mexican restaurants. About 70% of the Mexican restaurants in the United States are independent restaurants. Most popular restaurant chains include Taco Bell, Chipotle, Cordoba, Moe's Southwest Grill, and Del Taco. Then you could throw in, if you're out here on the West Coast, Rubio's. That's a popular one. And then you got other restaurants. But when it comes to us, can we compete with the Mexican restaurants in the United States? Now remember, Donald Trump said they invaded America. And a lot of people agree with him. Now I don't get into that political stuff, but they have kicked the door in since the 2000s. I Googled this to see what it said about FBAs. It says, do you mean FBA restaurants? It says, how many? They had none. Nothing is labeled FBAs when it comes to restaurants, because this is a new phrase that was coined by Tariq Nasheed. Shout out to Tariq Nasheed, Foundational Black Americans. But when I did Google this is what I was surprised. It says in 2020, there were approximately 375,000 black-owned restaurants in the United States. which was about 8% of all restaurants in the country. Explanation: in 2020, black-owned restaurants in the United States generated about $25 billion in sales. Most black-owned businesses are located in urban areas with only 5% in rural areas. The United States has the most. So you see that? So the states with the most black-owned businesses include California, big state. They want to break it up. New York, Georgia, and Texas. Jones Barbecue, Dinner, and Mariana. Arkansas is believed to be the oldest black-owned restaurant in the United States. So I'm going to say this. Barring the media, they'll let you believe that we're not out there. We're not succeeding. They'll have you to believe that the Mexican restaurants outnumber ours. No, we outnumber them. 375,000 black-owned restaurants as opposed to 49,000 Hispanic-owned restaurants. So when you think about it, our lineage can compete with all other lineage, but with the advent of CNN, Fox News, and all the other fake news, they would lead you to believe that we can't compete. Look at that, 375, 49. So we can compete. We can, as a black people, compete with other lineage. We can be a whole, as it was, holistic with black families, with black love. And to each his own, love who you want to love, but we can compete. We are unique, we are resilient, we are brilliant. And coming up, we're going to get into the next story in Fayetteville. I believe this is Fayetteville, North Carolina. This is a preview, but I want you to go ahead, do me a favor. Hit that like and subscribe button, and go ahead and leave your comments. Do you think the FBA, Foundation of Black Americans, or Black Americans, because we seem to be designated as so many things nowadays, can we compete with other lineages? Here's your preview.
Stop by just to say what an inspiration we are to the community. So now I think it's really hitting us on like making history and really what that means, and not just what it means to us, but what it means to our community.
Now that is a black couple. That's Felicia Oliver and Winchell Oliver. And what they did was something that was fantastic for the city of Fayetteville. They opened up a strip mall. And that's coming up on the next episode of Is It Just Me? Insight with T. Now I want you to go ahead and be in the place to be. And that's with me, yours truly, T. Leave your comments below. Like, share, and subscribe. Until the next time, is it just me?